Everyone, Wolf Outdoor Review here. Today I'm going to be going over a recent, maybe rare, maybe limited edition, maybe whatever, item. I recently bought a Nvg mount for my helmet, and then I recently got a good deal on a official GoPro night vision mount adapter. So this allows you to put like your ACH, Hazcat, Mitch, ECH, yeah, all those helmets allow you to use the GoPro with that. This is an official one, and there are little to no videos at all on YouTube about these. And I picked this up for $10 on eBay. And I saw outrageous prices of $50 on Amazon for this little piece of plastic. And I was like, that can't be right. So I just thought I would share with you how this works, if it fits the current, I think this is the current, this is Desert Tan, no, Sotros, I think, brand Nvg mount. And this is the, my current loadout. I switched out the, what's it called? H-harness thing for, the current issued one, so this is, I guess, an update video on that helmet. So here's my helmet, and here's the mount. I've gone through quite a few of these. Well, quite a few, I guess, but I've gone through a couple. Enough to be. Here's a soda can. We'll put that here so we can see what's going on. So, zoom in there. Edit everything. So, first things first. Down here we have a slit. So that's basically is where the buttons are pressed and all that. So that's a catch mechanism, and then there's one up here. And that one, so basically what you're doing is you have two on each side. They go into a hole. And then on the other side, you have one that's a clip. So you push a button, it retracts, then it goes and it's stuck. So then it's basically, it can't move because both of them are clicked into position. It's explained here better. See, there's that button. There's a little catch here and a catch here. And basically, one of them, this goes like this. So as you can see here, it's at a 45-degree or a roll type thing on the top here. And so that goes under there. And it's, as you can see, it's a very sharp roll. So that part right there is very sharp for plastic anyway. But at the same time, it's not going to break or anything. But so what that does is it holds the shelf, top part of the shelf here, which there's an indent hole there. And then you have the bottom one here. This is metal. And you press the button, it retracts. Or though, if you don't really need to do that, but it is the same type design. It is a small roll, as you can see there. You press the button, it retracts. You press it again, it goes up. And then you have the older style thing that could be lost, but I think there's glue in there. And then, press your button. I think normal, the J-arm swingy things, or whatever the official Nvg goggle adapter thing, has a button on the side. This one's on the bottom. And this fits really all of them, all GoPros. I don't know about the Hero 1, but I know it fits the Hero 8. That's what I run. And so, here's how this works. Now, we'll put that in there, and then you push. And it takes quite a bit of force. But, well, put about 5-10 pounds of steady pressure on it. And as you can see, you have to line everything up right, because this part is very old rubber, and then you have that part, and not much give room here, so you have to finesse it a bit, and you'll hear it click, or you won't, and it's in. So you just push on it. It's in, and listen. No give, no movement. So I've seen the cheap ones on eBay and or Amazon that are like oh, it's 3D printed and all that, and then I've seen that some that are made of better materials, like aluminum, but at the same time, those aren't made for this official mounts. They're made for the cheap knockoff helmet ones. Like, everyone runs fast helmets nowadays, so they're not really designed for the official Nisotros brand Nvg mount adapter. So they're more for the cheap ones that are maybe off by a few millimeters from the original ones, because not many people run even fake night vision goggles on their fast helmets. It's more of just the plate here, and then the GoPro. And of course, they don't use the official ones on fast helmets. They use their own rinky-dink plastic cave-ins, and they have those 3 mount hole ones nowadays for ECH and all that. So this is designed specifically for this type. And I've also done a Mitch one that has the titanium J-hooks. I had to return that because it didn't fit the helmet, but it fit the GoPro mount. So I don't have it on me because I returned it. And I had to go through 2 of these on eBay. Or 2 of them. Because the first one had holes. It was like what is it? Those Meccano toys. And so basically it had a sheet of metal with little holes indented along the way. And then it had J-hooks within that. So then you had hooks that curled around, came out and curled around. And they claimed those for an ACH helmet, but in reality they're not. So make sure if you're going to get a mount for your ACH helmet, you get one of these. This is the tan one. They have a black one of these as well. And some other colors maybe. But if you're going to get one, yeah, make sure you get one of these, because it'll fit. And then from there, make sure you violently thread the nut on the inside, because it takes a lot of finagling to get this to fit enough. So if you're using a GoPro for it, it fits in. Because if you don't have it right, you have the flat part here, and then the nut coming up, and the lip of the nut catches there, and that prevents the GoPro part from seating correctly. And then you lose your GoPro while you're running. You don't notice. So there's definitely a lot of things that could go wrong if you don't seat it properly. And but this looks really nice. It's a really nice mount. Like, this is aluminum or titanium or something, and it matches the tan part of that pretty well. But there's also black if you don't want to go too outrageous. And as we can see here, there's my Streamlight Sidewinder adapter. See, you can just put that on so you can have light for your GoPro. So I've got a lot of add-ons and stuff. The goggles aren't on it right now, but normally there's goggles and they rest right above the GoPro. But that is something that you may need to work on. So you may need to put a piece of paracord through this hole here, and then have like a hook that hooks onto the top part of the goggles to keep them down. Because I'll pause the video and get them, but these don't work well if you have like ESS goggles. Because normally the J-arm for the night vision equipment goes about to where this is, but then it comes out quite a ways and then up and whatever. So your goggles have a shelf to rest on. Whereas this, your GoPro, normally you ride it pretty close to the top part here. Because as you can see, yeah, it would be going maybe up or back. I'll just pause the video for a second and grab all the stuff I'm telling you about. And I'll be back. Alright, I'm back, and I've grabbed my GoPro and my ESS goggles to explain what I was telling you about. So, first of all, you have your ESS goggles. They go on a retention strap back here. So, essentially what you have is 2 straps of buckles attached to them. And what you do is you take your goggles, feel around till you feel the nose piece, and lay them on top. Then you run this part here. Some people go in between the 2. I go outside the 2. You make sure your cat eyes, depending on what time of the day it is, what conditions are going on, you make sure they're either covered or uncovered. Then you run them here. And here, normally you would have it sit down here, but that's kind of that would be in the way of the GoPro. So you're forced to sit them up here, but as you can see, they don't like that at all. So if you're doing anything, you might want a paracord that loops to there. that has enough give so when you pull them down over your face, they also go with the paracord. And then from here, we'll pull this part here. I run an 8. But I've seen this work on the 6 and the 7. I think the original photos they used, they had a 1 or a 2 or 3 on. So if you look up GoPro Nvg mount, GoPro has an official photo where they used an ACH covered helmet, and they have either 1 or 2 on it. Either Hero 1 or Hero 2 attached. But a lot of people don't realize that, oh, you know, everything's moving and blah, 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 blah. But I believe you can also fit the waterproof housing on here if you're doing things. So if it's pouring rain and you're doing tactical stuff, it says you can't use a GoPro. But make sure if you use this, you put the silicone cover over it if you have an opportunity to. They make a turtle green and sand color covers for this to keep minimalist colors. Other than that, you could cut something up, or hell yeah, cut something up. For example, you could buy a grenade pouch, cut the lid off, or just cut the parts around it and make like a housing for the GoPro, because you want to make sure that you can't see it as well. But that's the GoPro there. Here's the different positions you can ride the 8 anyway. You can point it up. That way, if you're looking down, it looks out. Of course, I would take your cell phone out, connect to the Quik, whatever app it's called, and make sure you have an angle that's good for what you're doing. So if you're shooting, make sure your angles shows your rifle and your eyesight and the target downrange. And make sure your lights, LED blinking lights, are off. That's just common sense. You don't want to give away your position, even if you aren't doing anything too serious. It's just good common practice to keep a low profile. And so that's that. If you're done recording, and also you might want to get some glare tape. Like if you go to some like restaurants, or if you've ever seen a city bus, they have all those advertisements on them, and they're one-way advertisements. You can't see in past the advertisement, but you can see out. So they make tape that's one-way tape. It's like a map. It's like this, black. So it looks like just black cloths covering. Here, I'll show you an example. Here's just a black cloth, lens cloth. So it would look like that. No glare, nothing, but you would be able to see out. So it's one-way cloth material. And there's tiny little, like, screen door sized holes, I guess, is how that works. So you could do that. You could even take, like a lens cloth, cut it to size if you wanted to drape over here. You could cut your old BDUs up, because no point in showing all this part. So who says you can't drape some BDUs loosely over this or something? Cover the whole thing, so you'd like take enough to just cover that part like that, and then you could tuck corners in there. So just be an elongated helmet. So there's all those different options, and then when you're done recording, you hit the button, pops off, you throw it in your pack. Once you're done doing your shooting videos for the day, or you're in your milsim activities and you're not using night vision and it's daytime, and you're NCO commander, whatever it allows your GoPro use for war or whatever you're doing, you can do that. And then, you're just running. Then you can throw on your real night vision equipment and go from there. So during the day, if you're doing formations and want to record your fun activities, you can run this. Like I said, it takes quite a bit of force to push onto it. I try to push on the two sides here. You should hear a click. For me, it doesn't, because there's that rubber stopper, and you can remove it, but then it'll rattle. But eventually it gets there, and you shouldn't be able to pull the GoPro off. So, you just push and then feel if it's coming off or not. And if it's not coming off, it's on. And, you can pick up this helmet by the GoPro, shake the GoPro using. And the only thing that should shake is these little arms, because they're bad. But you shouldn't just have the GoPro fly off. Other common sense things or things you should consider is if you're going to run this airsoft or milsim or anything, make sure you have a cage around it or something to make roll cages for the 8s, for example. They make frames for the 6 and 5, 6, 7s. They make waterproof housings for 1 through 4. And then you have the Hero Sessions, which are the smallest ones. And you could easily put a BDU cover over that and make those almost invisible on your helmet. Of course, battery life on those isn't that great, so I run 8s because from here, if I have to change stuff, I can. For example, power this one on, maybe. And make sure you figure stuff out. For example, make sure if you're going to use a key like this, I just realized if I'm going to power it on, I need access to the battery door. So either get one with the pass-through or make sure you get a long key. Like a long key versus a short key. That way you have room to unclip the part. And then, yeah, see? It'll be tight, but you should, once it's all said and done, you should be able to open up that and put in a battery in it. Do all that, because sometimes you don't have a chance to sit there and go la-di-da-di-da. I need to be able to do all this quickly. That's just something to consider. Okay, so yeah, you may have to stand in formation, have a battery in your BDU pocket or one of your trouser pockets, and have to do this all while it's on your head. So it's good to know all of this stuff, because you have to know all that for the helmets anyway. For example, I've trained myself to this light. This is the Streamlight Sidewinder light, so I know once I'm at IR, or white, no wait, yeah, it's IR. If I go down, and then I have the button on the right side, so that means facing here. If I go down, it's red. If I go up, it's blue. And all the way to the back, it's white. So from IR forward, I go down is hell, up is heaven. Down is the core of the earth, up is water. And then middle is white, and that's just daylight. So that's just how I run it. So the same similar thing. You need to be able to do this one-handed. So from here, like you could feel, it's like a beer belly. You want it down low, because it slopes off back up to normal. So from there, put it in there, push down, make sure that you have clearance. It's going to be a tight fit, and then yeah. And then check this out. When I turn it on, make sure you turn it on. See that? There's no lights flashing. This isn't a disco party. This is supposedly a tactical environment. You don't want lights flashing while you're recording, because you're going to give every single enemy in 100-mile radius knowledge of where you are, if you're allowed to even use these in a combat situation. And even if you're on an airsoft or paintball team, they might not like you using these. So just use them with common sense. And if they allow you, make sure you do everything in your power to keep a low profile with these. And like put tape or just put something over this so all that's visible is the pinhole-sized part of the camera. If you can, make like a donut-shaped thing that only allows just the little part of the lens that you need out. And then cover everything else up with tape that doesn't ruin the lens afterwards. Or use a polarized filter type thing that reduce glare filter. So then from here, click record, and then if you cover that up, you're being recorded. Yeah. And this may be useful if you want to record, because I recommend you buy one of these mounts, because it's always good to improve. There's a reason that they have sports-themed GoPro mounts for like they call them large tube mounts and whatever, but you can use them for parts of the bat. There's a reason GoPros are very prevalent in sports, if you're allowed to use them, that is. That's because you need to be able to see what you did wrong. If you see that you got shot in airsoft, make sure you get a screen protector, or a shatter resistant thing for the lens, or paintball, same thing, and then you cover it all up like I said. You need to be able to see what you did wrong. So if you were unnecessarily showed your shoulder when you're behind cover and you got shot, next time you need to hug your cover more and only poke out when necessary and you think it's safe. So with the GoPro, it allows you to make corrections next time that could cost you your life if you're if you were really in a firefight. So it's good to buy one of these. Like I said, I recommend spending $50 to get a good one, because this is a $200, $250 up to like $800 investment when it first comes out. So it's good to treat it right. And like I said, yeah. And make sure you have your LCD screen that screen timeout very quick, so it doesn't just light up the back of your helmet here. And you can always buy one of those I don't recommend buying an off-brand dive suit for the GoPros for diving. But if you buy a cheap $10 one on Amazon for spray painting, and of course put a piece of blue painter's tape over the lens part, and then just go whatever color scheme you're going. So tan, and then if you're doing woodland, you can do small little strips of tan and try to match it to the age of your helmet cover. Some of them, people run brand new helmet covers. I like to distress mine for concealment. And so yeah, if you spray paint the cover and put a rubber band around it horizontally, or vertically, you can attach foliage around the GoPro, but still allow the GoPro to see if you're doing a rag top type thing with your helmet cover. So I know this video is going kind of long, but I just thought I would share to the people who actually want this information. And I'm not sure about a media mod or all that with this. Although that would be kind of cool if you could somehow put your media mod and then put the wire down here and then put a heads-up display down, so it's like a Google Glasses and you're seeing what you're seeing on the camera. That would be kind of cool. Of course, those use normal cold shoe adapters, so who says there isn't a GoPro, a 3M adhesive cold shoe adapter that you could put right at the edge of your helmet and put the media mod screen down facing you, put some camouflage tape over it, like multicam repair tape over the back part of the media mod LCD screen. Then you have a heads-up display of what you're seeing. And then along with this can be a very, very powerful tool if you use it, if you have a heads-up display like a media mod. And this can be a periscope. You don't want to stick your whole helmet around the corner and get a BB to the head, or the eyeball, I guess, or a bullet to the head. You know, you can push your GoPro slightly around the corner, and if it's camouflaged correctly, it'll be a very low silhouette, and you'll be able to use the zoom feature on your GoPro to zoom in, survey the area before sticking your whole head out. So essentially, it would be like periscope. And you can always get those additions that make it go high up, like the extension arms, so it goes even higher than you are. So you can just tilt your head, don't even have to take the helmet off, you just tilt your head a little bit, and just the GoPro sticks out around the corner. So this can be used to give you a somewhat tactical advantage. So that's just my 10 cents about this, and I guess my review about it. Like I said, you could always I recommend a cover like the goggles if you're in dust storm. What you could do is get a Crown Royal bag-looking bag, and put it over there if you want to leave it on. I would never leave it up to chance that you just leave it uncovered when you're not using it. Either take it off or put a cover here. There's this little piece here that's a very tight spot. So here's if very worst, if you're in combat and you don't have anything, use a Polar Tech cap, push it down till it cinches, and then go from there. Then wrap it and go down like that. You want to keep your GoPro nice. If you're in Iraq or something, you know, or wherever you are anyway. You want to keep it nice because you may not get another one. You may be out in the Arabian desert for months on end, so you want to keep it nice. So it's good to keep it covered when you're on your helmet, especially because you're banging stuff on branches and whatever. And better yet, take it off. And then put it in a Polartec cap. And then throw it in your ruck. And then you're back to standard issued stuff. And then you can get a BDU thing still and put a cover over it. And that's another hack I'll go over later. But that's just something like, for example, if you have one of these woodland grenade pouches or a grenade pouch you're choosing and you don't want it, take scissors, cut the lid off, take this snap part, run it through here. See? Right here. This is just a hack. Of course, I don't want to do it to mine, but if you're serious about concealment and stuff, and you run it through there, and you put a piece of whatever dulling tape on there, then you have a cover for your NVG mount. And then you can, if your helmet band is secured here, you can use that to hold it on. If not, use a rubber band or a piece of paracord down in here. And yeah. And then you put like electrical tape or non-glossy item over here. Yeah, who says you can't do that? Then you have protect yourself from giving your position away, because as much as these claim they're matte colors, you know, I don't believe that. It's better to be safe than sorry. See? And then, like I said, they make grenade pouches in every single color the military camo's ever used that Molly's been around. So they've got woodland, they've got DCU, they've got UCP, they've got all these different colors that you can cover your NVG mount with. And then when stuff gets real, flip it over, and it lays there. And then your helmets hold that flap there, and then you run your GoPro and all that. And then when you're done, flip it back over. So grenade pouches are very useful, and this is waterproof. And you can keep information here. That way, like if you can keep, like, sew a piece of waterproof, like that binder things that are plastic. Sew a piece of plastic in there and keep, like, your troop movement positions in there. You know? So that's always an option. Not many people think about. Because, you know, you can get these grenade pouches for extremely cheap, and some of them are garbage. Like, I've run the cost, I bought a few of them, and one of them I had this part, the gypsy snap on one of them broken. And I was like, what am I going to use this grenade pouch for? Then I just realized I can cut off, then I could cut off the top part and use that to cover this, because that's pretty obvious. And even if it's black, that's not a naturally occurring color, and that's the front part of your head. And if you cover it, you have more of a chance of succeeding doing whatever you're doing. And like I said, if you use a piece of OD green paracord or something on here, you can put foliage over it, the front of it, and then it becomes a completely camouflage. Then put foliage coming down, drooping down enough that you can see, and you pretty much ghillie-suited your helmet from a possible attack. And I've never seen an example of that hack being used, but they have these two parts here. Chances are, if you are forced to use these, you only use part of it, and you still have enough room to put a grenade pouch pull tab through. And like I said, grenade pouches can be as cheap as $2, as much as $5. Well, as much as $20, but don't buy those. Realistically, you're just going to spend about $5, maybe $3 shipping, so $8 for one of these. And if you're very serious about airsoft and you run Milton SERP, who says you don't want to do that? Well, another way, yeah. You know? And that's camouflaged. And you can't, see, if you're in a wooded area, it doesn't, you can get away with a rigger belt that's tan, but this is right where your head is. If someone sees the glint of that tan in your environment, you're screwed. So if you have a cheap grenade pouch that you're not using, cut top off right there, and then put that part right there. And you could even go inside out, so put that part in like that. So not going from the inside to the outside in go inside out. That way you fold it over, and that creates tension, and that creates even more securement. And then cut it to the size you need, even if you have to cut off that part there. Then you have a cover. So, enough of that. We're going to go over now we're going to go over measurements. All this because, like, if you go on Amazon, everyone claims, oh yeah, these NVG GoPro mounts will fit, but in all reality, what does fit mean? A lot of people say it's scraping half a millimeter or whatever is smaller than a millimeter, and you'd hate to be a millimeter off of something and have to return that. It's like so close, and you don't want to modify your Nosotros helmet mounts, because if you're in combat situation, you need them to be the size they are to hold your real night vision equipment. So I would get one of these. These are rated for those. You can get them $20 if you look hard enough. I got mine on auction on eBay. No one would bid on it, and it was on for like 3 days. So I bid on it in 3 days. No one outbid me, and I only bid the bare minimum. So I got it for $10, $10.50 shipped to my house. So if you look, you will find one of these on your bid, and you can bid on it for pretty cheap. And it was official GoPro. And so, enough of me rambling. So if you're looking for this here is the exact measurements, because I know this is a millimeter life or death type deal. It has to be a certain size or else you could be off. And so that is the measurement that way. So I'd say 1 5/8, or maybe 1 tick behind 5/8, that way. From its widest point to the bottom, you're looking at 2 inches. Press the button, and you are looking at 1 7/8. 1 tick past 1 7/8. It's got 6 screws. If you're looking for an official one and they don't tell you if it's official or not, here's a 360. So that's what it should look like on the back. That's what it should look like on the side. That's what it should look like on the front. Tilt down on the front. It should have this knob here, and it should have a part here that loops out. And then on the top, it should have this weird crest part here. So it's very hard to tell the fake ones from the real ones, but most of the time you'll be able to tell because it'll have this nut here. A lot of the newer ones have just a bolt, not a covered nut. This part should be quite thick, so it shouldn't be 3 equally sized ones. This last one that's attached to the nut should be quite thick. And this other one should be quite thin, and it should go small, medium, large for the thickness of the plastic. See, small, medium, large. And then the button looks like that, and has ruffles or ribges. And then it has a piece of metal. Mine's kind of loud. You could always WD-40 yours. It should be kind of matte black. You could always spray paint it to whatever color you want, the mount. So if I don't want to because I like it the way it is, but this plastic's kind of has very small pattern marks on the microscopic level, so it's not smooth enough to hold off it won't smear around if you spray paint it. It has little dimples in it that are microscopic, so spray paint will hold on these, and you can spray paint it whatever color you want. As for this, I would definitely put some electrical tape on there, or non-glossy paint, or spray paint it. That is not good if you're running NVG stuff. That will catch the light, and if you've done all that work to keep your GoPros non-reflective and that gives you away, you're kind of screwed. So make sure you paint this if you want to whatever color you're running. So anyway, that's my review of the GoPro Nvg mount. And then that's side profile. And this officially fits the Mitch style NVG mounts and the ACH style NVG mounts. I am not 100% certain it'll fit the PASGAT, PSA GT helmet one. But if someone knows, please leave a comment. Like I said, if you look up GoPro Nvg mount, Some of them come unpackaged, but the original ones have a GoPro with a ACH cover on it and a GoPro Hero 2 on the mount. So that's what to look for. And as I said, it fits these helmets. This is a current issued Nosotros brand mount. It'll fit these perfectly. There's no rattle at all. Like I said, you have to put about 5 pounds of pressure on there, but that's 5 pounds of pressure holding it in. And I've seen and tested others where it rattles around, and I mean, that wasn't me, that was other people who've had the similar helmet experience. So it's best to use the official. And I'll do it one more time before I end the video. See? And like I said, push. You didn't hear it click, did you? But it's in. I'm shaking the helmet. Do you hear any? There's no movement noise at all. I'm pulling as hard as I can. So, you may have heard microscopic noise, but these are really nice. And like I said, you heard that. That was a lot of force needed to release it. So, that's my review of the GoPro Nvg mount. I know it's a pretty long video, but I just thought I'd go over a bunch of stuff. And I'm in my upcoming videos, I'm experimenting with editing. I've never really edited a video. I just redo takes. So it's in the future. My goal is I'm gonna go back and do timestamps for all my videos so people can get to them quickly. So that's what I'm working on now. And thank you for watching. Please consider subscribing, liking, commenting, sharing. If you've never seen the video and this helped you convince you to buy one, I would appreciate a like and a subscription, as I will be doing updates on my helmet as it goes along. And I will show you updates where I show you how to scrim your helmet with natural foliage and artificial foliage. How to go from the woodland camo cover to desert, Arctic, sea, all these. And then that can be applied. So if you found this video helpful and want to see similar videos that'll help you even farther, yeah, subscribe and like. That definitely helps me out because I'll be making more videos related to it. And it helps you out because you get updated the second I post those videos. And if you'd like to leave a comment or any questions that I didn't go over, you can email me at wolfoutdoorreview@gmail.com, and I will leave a description. I will leave a email hyperlink to that in the comment section. And if you don't have any, and I'll see you in the next video.